So he's got a lot of power in his hand. Now, if democracy, as we keep saying, is a double-edged sword. It's if we give it away, we got to be careful who we give it to, or we got to be careful how we give it. Is this virtual world? Are we going to a true majority? Are we going to a true democracy? Because majority is violent, right? 6 people out of 10, they determine. Well, what about those 4 people? They have a voice. And nowadays, with our technology and our ability to contribute to information, those 4 people do have a lot to say. And that's this boy with the gun. He has a voice. Journalism, in the past, someone mentioned the convergence of journalism or the media being in the hands of a few. Well, those are guided by ideologies. If you agree with the ideology, you continue watching and you don't change the channel. However, we have blogging, we have Twitter, we have means of uploading our information or our opinions without caring about ideology. In fact, we don't even care if no one's listening. I don't know, just something to think about. Democracy, where is it going? And then think about other concepts. Where is the concept of truth going? Objectivity, apparently, is super slippery and problematic, right? Okay. And any comments about that before I move on? Before we move on? Go ahead. Get the microphone, please. Keep it close to you.
About this democracy thing, I think, with the individualism and where everyone is important and everyone has a voice, aren't we moving to an anarchy? Because someday there will be no rules because a rule will make someone unhappy, so there are no rules, so everyone's happy because everyone makes his own rules, and that's the individualistic thing that we were talking about in classes before. Isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, how is everybody going to communicate if we're all speaking our own languages? And that is chaos, that's noise, that is anarchy, right? But for some reason, we're not having this anarchy. In fact, I think the Haiti example is a good example of that. We have people sending messages by Twitter trying to make some sort of understanding out of this horrible event. It's the opposite of anarchy. A few years ago, I would have said definitely that's going to be anarchy, but now I wouldn't. I don't see anarchy. I don't see chaos.
No, that's why I was asking if are we moving to that, to the anarchy?
My opinion is no,
It's
but
like the autocracy thing, right? In the reading.
again,
The autocracy thing instead of anarchy. I think it's the risk, but we are like, it's like a conscious empowerment. It says about participation, proactive participation of people instead of the anarchy, because it's like we have now the freedom. We were like in the mass media system was pretty totalitarian, and now we have the chance of being heard. But I think, and also like Enrique's son told him, we are a generation used to have what we want instead of like being submissive, and we are making our voices heard, and we aren't just like accepting what media gives us. We are now like criticizing, and if you don't like what you see, you change channel, or you see new channels, you see new contents, you look for what you want.
I couldn't agree more. I think both of you have answered the question as to why there's no chaos. Is that if you allow someone a voice, they're going to be pretty much calm. They're going to be happy to a certain extent. So yeah, the ability to express yourself, identity. Go ahead.
News from a couple of days ago, okay? If you enter the Google's blog, corporative blog, you will find a news that says more or less what follows, that Google will give 500,000 people internautas. How do you say that in English?
I don't know.
Internauts. Could you say that in English? I don't know. Okay,
Sounds good.
500,000 people, they will give extra fast internet. By extra fast, and for free. Okay? By extra fast, I mean 1 gigabyte per second. That means that I could, throw through the internet, through this band, I could throw all the information I have in my computer for less than a minute. Okay? So, we're talking something 100 times faster than we're used to use the internet right now. Okay? So, and then they're going to make an experiment. Okay? They're going to put it there, 500,000 people, see what happens.
All right.
Okay? So maybe we could raise our hands to Google to.
Yeah, me.
Yeah.
I'll do it.
No, for our class, so that we don't have any video problems or anything. We could just stream freely through our super high freeway. What will happen in the near future when this happens? I mean, where there is yesterday, again, we were doing some tests with the video conferences, with the video streaming through the telephones, and it's not working yet. Let's be realistic. But very soon it will be working, and the closeness, so to say, the way in approaching people in an almost real way will affect us clearly. There is still a gap. There is still a difference, a clear difference right now between acting you and me live and acting virtually. There's still a difference. We're amazed each day of what's going on with Google Maps or with whatever, or the news or the Twitter or whatever, but there will come a time. Sounds like biblical, there will come a time
Prophecy.
a prophecy.
The Enrique prophecy.
Enrique's prophecy, where sooner than later, there will be kind of a match in between our reality as we know it and the reality through the technology that will be instantaneously.
Certainly. And, a few years ago, I used to make fun of people who met their life partner on the internet. Like, what? What? Well, no. Well, now you can't even joke about that because it's so common to have a virtual relationship with somebody. And, texting, sexting, we'll probably be laughing about that in a few years. All right, real quick, the next slide, please.
We have 5 minutes.
5 minutes, okay, we're almost done. The game paradigm. Life is starting to reflect a game. Not that life is any more fun than it used to be, just that our expectations reflect what happens when we play games. Like there are rules, there are winners and losers, but yet the way we negotiate life is very similar to the way we negotiate a video game. Our virtual relationships, our Facebook identity, our classes, what we do here, the content of our conversations, these reflect the game, in my opinion. Now, the question number 12 here, how do interaction and participation, game characteristics, how do they change the content of sports events, politics, the news? For instance, if we could interact and participate with just about everything, well, what effect will that have? Who had this question number 12? Aldo? No, not Aldo. Emilio, thank you. Go ahead.
It's like we have the things we have been talking and what's in the reading about Survivor and American Idol, how the participation of the people changed the way mass media was broadcasting their own shows. There's like the convergence of the game, of the people who decides in what wasn't modifiable before, like the TV shows, and who has even a greater impact, like the reading who states that from American Idol, the American society started texting through cell phone. So I think that's like the big change, in which it's no longer like a one-way media, mass media. It's like a two-way mass media.
Yeah, very good. It's